Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my makeup brush collection. I have so many brushes, guys. It's actually, I'm not gonna say it's ridiculous because I feel like I could have more, way more, the way my shopping habits are set up, but I don't. These are all my makeup brushes, and this does not include my beauty blenders, of course. I probably got like 4 beauty blenders. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my eyebrow brushes because I don't do anything to my face until my eyebrows are done. Okay guys, so these are the main brushes I use on my eyebrows. Okay, so you guys already know this brush. This is the Anastasia Beverly number 14 brush I actually use to do my eyebrows. The brush part on it that I like to use, and then it has the spoolie part on it. Once I do my brows, really, I like to go in and clean them up. So I use like one of these old brushes from Morphe. It's a flat shader brush, really, but the names are written off. Or I would use the E35 brush from Morphe. But lately what I've been using basically is a flat shader brush from Wet n Wild. Now this is their like smoking eyeliner brush, but I love it to use under my eyebrows, like really get that really nice and sharp look. I use this brush. So these are all of my concealer brushes, and I know you're probably thinking like, oh my god, you're crazy, but I'm not. This right here was my all-time favorite concealer brush I had. It was a perfect height in regards to bristles, perfect density and everything. I got this from Morphe. This was a gunmetal collection. Can't even tell you which brush this is. They actually stopped making the gunmetal collection, if I'm correct. So sad, but I still got this one forever. I like to use the E15 brush. It's also one of my favorite concealer brushes. It's pretty short and pretty dense. It's really to use like to get all up in the area pack under my eye. This brush is from the Midnight Festival collection, BH Cosmetics. This is number 4 brush. This actually became one of my top 3 favorite concealer brushes of all time I've ever owned. I love this brush, guys. I got the collection. I think the collection was like $20. And that collection alone has some of my ultimate, like, all-time favorite brushes, makeup brushes I ever owned. And I own a lot of makeup brushes. This right now is an M321 brush. And this is also a really fluffy brush, really good for concealer and color correcting. This is the Morphe M173 brush. I definitely use this for spot correcting. I can also use it if I want to like pack a lot of concealer. If I'm going for like a full dramatic look, this would be the brush I reach for in regards to concealer, because I know it'll give me full coverage without all the work. So I'm going to talk about some of my detailed small brushes I like to use for detailing eye look. Brushes I use under my eyes to like give a pop of color at the bottom of my eyes, and some of my shader brushes. I'm going to start with my favorite brush right now that I use for shading, and that is the Morphe 408 brush. And this is literally a flat shader brush. In comparison to the Wet n Wild shader brush, they're both shading brushes, but the one from Morphe is a lot bigger. The one from Wet n Wild is way more thicker, a lot more dense. And some of the biggest differences besides the way they look, the shape of them are pretty different. It's also the price. This is $1. I think this one right here was like $5. Which one do I recommend over the two? Personally, to apply shadow and pack the shadow on, I recommend this one. And so you need a brush like these two in your collection. I don't care what anyone says. The 3 eye brushes you really need is a blending brush, a big shader brush, which is one of these, and an eyeliner brush. If you have nothing else, you have those 3 brushes. Brushes like these go for like $8 depending on who you're getting them from. I recommend you have one. Now when I want to get really detailed eye looks, I reach for one of these 5 brushes. Sorry, I can't count. Now this is a flat shader brush from Wet n Wild, BH Cosmetics. It's the number 5 Midnight Festival collection. This is basically this brush in a mini version. Basically use it, pack on eyeshadow if you want. You can use the contour your nose if you like. All my brushes I use for multiple things. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I use this brush for this, I use this brush for that, because I don't. If you're applying glitter, like glitter to your lids, you need a nice flat brush that mainly is used for glitter. And so this is the M124, right? And it's the M421. You use brushes like this to pack on glitter impact on shimmer eyeshadows. It really put it on and apply it nicely, non-patchy, all that good stuff. When I go in for detail and I want to smoke out my lower lash line, there's a couple brushes I use. Like if I want to go in and put brown and red under my eye, but I want the red to be the main color, I would use this to smoke out my lower lash line. This Morphe 213 brush to smoke it out using the brown or black. And then I'll go in and apply that red under my eye using this brush. You need a lower lash brush or you need a smoking brush, like non-optional. Okay, let's go about some blending eyeshadow brushes. We're about blending brushes and bullet brushes. My original baby is this one from Gummo collection. Can't even tell you what it is. Basically a big fluffy brush. So like if I wanted to go in and apply one color like straight under my brows as my transition color, my main color, I'll use a big fluffy brush. Another brush is similar to this, that's actually labeled, is the one I got from BH Cosmetics, and this is the number 7 brush. And you just take a brush like this, a very fluffy brush, and you just apply whatever color it is, and you apply it everywhere, mainly on the brows. And this would be like this is what you would use a brush like this, a big fluffy brush like this, as your main transition color. That's the only time you would ever use a big, or only time I would ever use a big fluffy brush like this. So these are the iconic Morphe M441 and M573 brush. So this is the M573 brush and this is the M441 brush. So with this one, this brush is more when you want to do like an all-out blend, and I'll swipe it like this. And this one will blend both those colors seamlessly. Only time we use the M573 brush if I'm trying to apply a color direct to the end. I bought the M573 brush and it's very precise and it's pointed. Like I know mine's kind of like blurred out or whatnot. I use them every day, but it has a point to it. It is pointed for the whole crease, so that's the beauty of this brush. This is a M321 brush, which is a nice pointed pencil brush, and basically it'll go in your crease, and it's so small. It'll go in your crease and it'll just apply that color, and then it'll blend. So it's also a blending brush. This one is my flat shader brush, and so I will use this as a blending brush. This right here is from Morphe. This is a Gummo Collection G18. This was my #1 ride or die small blending brush I ever had. The best one, held me down for the count. But then I found another one. It's also from Morphe. This is the M506 brush. Get into my small, super duper small detail brushes. I use all these brushes, cream eyeliners only, because it's the only time I really need them. Now, my recommendation for using a black cream eyeshadow would be the M443 from Morphe. I like to dip my cream in here, and when you dip your cream in there, it gives you a very precise, nice line. Same thing with this one. This is the M250 from Morphe. It's similar. Oh, wait. Guys, I have the same brush. I didn't even know it. Here. If you're into like using lip brushes, which I am not, but when I do like a nice bold lip, I like to conceal my lips and like clean up those edges, I will use this Morphe E35 brush. Very small detail brush. I bought it because I remember Lisa Ashley years ago used to use it for her hooded eyes. Guys, this brush is so sharp. I do not recommend using it around your eyes. You could, but I wouldn't recommend it. We're almost done, I swear to God. These are the foundation brushes I use. 2 of them came from the Midnight collection. It's actually my favorite type of foundation brushes ever. And then 2 of them came from Morphe. This is like my real first ever foundation brush. I actually purchased my own money. And this is the Morphe M439 brush. Very thick brush. It's nice if you want to go with like a medium to full coverage. Apply the foundation. But like you have to like wash this brush every other day because then the product builds up and then the brushes don't move as nicely and as freely. It's in comparison to the M444 brush. Now this brush to me is a little too dense. You see them, like these are like the #1 foundation brushes people in the world of Morphe rave about, but they're totally 2 different brushes. This one will apply the product if you want like a full glam, you're trying to like cover a lot of acne scars, you're trying to cover some facial hair, go in for this brush. This one, not so much. I love them both. These are my 2 foundation brushes from BH Cosmetics. This is the #1 brush, and then this is the #2 brush. I like this brush a lot. This one really applies my foundation lovely. I get to control it because it's small. I get to place wherever I want, and It's beautiful. Recommend buying this. But only can buy this if you buy the collection. The #1 brush. Now I love a foundation brush that's angled. This is so freaking beautiful, guys. Okay, we're talking about some of the brushes you need in your life in regards to contouring, removing powder, setting powder, and removing fallout. And this is the Y11 from Morphe. This is from their Golden collection, and they don't make this collection anymore. But you can always find any type of brush or any brand really with a brush like this. So just remove your powder. You need a brush like this, honestly. Any fluffy brush really will use for blush, it's fine. This one's a Beach Cosmetics #3 from the Midnight Festival collection. Now, when applying contour or bronzer, sis, you need to really understand what kind of look you're going for. This was my first ever contour Brushes G30 from Morphe. And I used to use my cream contour because all I like to use is cream contour, honestly. And I would apply it straight line, boom. So this is the E30 brush from Morphe. I recommend everyone have this brush or the E6 from Morphe to get the job done. This is the E2 powder brush from Morphe. As you guys can see, it's pretty thick. It's not super dense. It's really fluffy. You need a absolute freaking all over face brush. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. This video was so long overdue, and it's actually a super long video, but that's really all my makeup brushes. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks.